of Sikandra. Dina was discovered at the age of 6 when hunters in the jungles of Bulandasar saw him follow a wolf running on all fours. Before living with wild wolves, he was one of the boys who lived at the Sikandra orphanage. After returning back to civilization, Dina remained wild, tearing off clothes and eating raw meat from the ground for a long period of time. Unfortunately, he didn't learn to speak and died at the age of only 35. Number 9. Bello the Chimp Boy. Bello was a 2-year-old boy when he was found in a group of chimpanzees after being abandoned by his parents due to being both mentally and physically disabled. Bello walked like a chimpanzee, using his legs but dragging his arms on the ground. After being rescued and brought to a children's home, he showed no signs of human behavior, disturbing the other children and throwing things around. Sadly, Bello died soon after in 2005. Number 8. Daniel the Andes Goat Boy. Abandoned in the Andes as a small child, Daniel joined a herd of wild Peruvian goats and lived with them for 8 years, eating berries, roots, and nursing milk from female goats. He walked on all 4 limbs, and his feet were hardened so much they acted like hooves. He couldn't learn human language, and not much is known of what happened to him after he was brought back to civilization. Number 7. The Syrian Gazelle Boy. A boy aged around 10 was found in a herd of gazelles in the Syrian desert. They caught him with the help of an army jeep because he could run at speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour. After being captured barefoot and naked, not a lot is known where he was kept afterwards. The Syrian Gazelle Boy was seen alive a few years later when he made an attempt to escape from an unpleasant state institution that he was kept in. Number 6. Kamala and Amala, the Wolf Girls of Mindapur. Amala was about 18 months old, while Kamala was 8 years old when they were found in a wolf's den. The girls had no trace of humanness. They would tear off any clothing that was put on them, they would only eat raw meat, and they only came awake after the moon rised. Unhappily, before their rehabilitation had started, the younger girl, Amala, sickened and died. Number 5. John Sabunya, the Ugandan Monkey Boy. After seeing his mother murdered by his own father, 3-year-old John ran away from his home in Uganda. Afraid for his own life, he hid in the forest where a few vervant monkeys found him. He lived with them, learning how to forage and climb trees for several years. When he was found by a hunter and brought back to civilization, locals thought he was an evil spirit and wanted to put him to death. Luckily, John was returned into society and even learned how to speak. Number 4. Vanya Yudin, the Bird Boy. Vanya Yudin from Russia was found at the age of 7 in a Volgograd apartment filled with caged birds. He didn't understand any human language because his single mother refused to speak to him. Instead, he was chirping and flapping his arms like a bird. He was temporarily transferred to an asylum, but later sent for psychological care where they immediately started his rehabilitation. Number 3. The Cat Boy. Back in 2008, Argentinian police discovered an abandoned 1-year-old boy surrounded by 8 wild cats. As they approached the child, the cats became very protective and even aggressive. The police found that the cats had been keeping the child alive during the harsh winter by constantly licking him and staying on top of him. The boy was given back to his homeless father, who claimed that those cats always took care of his son when he wasn't able to. Number 2. Traian Calderar, the Romanian Dog Boy. Traian is a Romanian boy who was separated from his family in the wild for 3 years. It is believed that he left the family home because of violence from his mother's partner. He was found near the body of a dog that he had been eating, suffering from infections and injuries as well as his poor circulation. He learned to survive on his own with assistance from the stray dogs in the Transylvanian countryside. He was kept in an orphanage for a while till the authorities ruled his mother to take him back and look after him. Number 1. Oksana Malaya, the Ukrainian Dog Girl. Oksana spent her childhood living in a dog hole in the back garden of the family home in Ukraine. Although she did spend some time in the house with her alcoholic and careless parents, she was cared for by the dogs and learned their behaviors. When found, she growled, barked, walked on all fours, and sniffed at her food before she ate it. Oksana was taken to a home for the mentally handicapped, where she was rehabilitated